Hello kids, Namaskar and welcome to my channel The Curious Panda. I am your Panda teacher and in this video we are going to talk about 5 important question types that are sure shot in your Mathematics Olympiad examination. So if you want to ace it, you need to practice a lot of these questions. But before we move ahead, I would want to talk to your parents for a minute. If you want your child to ace the Olympiad examination, then the best way is to practice, practice and practice. And what better way to practice than previous year question papers. So if you want to buy 18 previous year question papers of SOF IMO Maths Olympiad, then please go to the description box. You'll find a link out there and you can get 18 question papers at just ₹89. So back to the video now. Okay, so now that we are in our normal screen, let's talk about our first question type, that is data handling. Now, data handling are pretty easy questions. See, this involves very easy addition, subtraction and multiplication. The only thing that you need to do is read a table, and using that you need to answer 2 or 3 questions. And if you read the table correctly, those 2 or 3 questions are a matter of seconds, and it involves only addition, subtraction and multiplication if you are already aware of it. But if you know addition and subtraction, it is easy and you will be able to ace this part of the paper very easily, and that too at a very less amount of time. Okay, so let's go to the question directly. Now what you can see is there is a data table which you need to read, and then you have two questions relating to this data table. So let's first read out what the question says. The given pictograph shows the number of food packets distributed by an NGO, right? So these are food packets being distributed by NGO to the needy persons. Study it carefully and answer the following questions. Now, if you see on a Monday, the NGO distributes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are these 7 packets? No. If you read here, what it says is each packet or each packet shown in the image, it represents 50 packets. So on Monday, the NGO is actually distributing 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 and plus 50. So 7 times 50, right? 7 times 50 packets is what the NGO is distributing on a Monday. Now what on Tuesday, right? So if you can see 50, 1 time 50, 2 times 50, 3 times 50, 4 times 50, 5 times 50 and 6 times 50. So 6 times 50 packets are the number of packets that the NGO is distributing on a Tuesday. So similarly, you can find it for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday as well, right? Now, either you can go for a multiplication if you are already aware of multiplication, so it is nothing but 6 times 50, or you can do one thing is that you can add 56 times, right? So 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, right? So this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to read this table, right? Now let's go to the questions. So what they're asking is, what is the total number of packets distributed on a Monday, Tuesday and Thursday together, right? So what is that? You'll have to find it. I'll give you 5 seconds and I would request you to pause the video, solve it for yourself, and then we will get on to the solution. Right. So before we go to the first solution, let's also tackle the second question. It says on dash, the maximum number of food packets were on which day? On which day the maximum number of food packets were distributed? Again, I'll give you 5 seconds. Please solve it yourself. Don't take any kind of help. We will be back. We'll come back after 5 seconds, but you please pause it and solve the question. Correct. So let's go to the solution now. So as I said, right, either you do a multiplication saying that, these are 7 packets, images of 7 packets that represents 50 packets, right? These are 7 packet pictures which represents 50 packets. It's like there are 50 packets inside a single picture, right? So these are 50 packets. So either you do 7 multiplied by 50 if you are aware of multiplication, or what you can do is you can just check for a Monday how many of these products were sold. So it is 50 plus 50 plus 50. So if you do it 7 times, it is 350 packets were distributed on a Monday. I'm sorry, I said sold. It's not sold, it's distributed, right? Similarly, if you do it for Tuesday, it's 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, 6 times. So 300 packets were distributed on Tuesday. And on Thursday, if you see, there are 4 packet or pictures showing. So 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, it is 200, or simply it is 4 into 50. This is 6 into 50. If you see, you will get these answers. Now, if you just add it for Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, you will get 850 as an answer. So if you add 350, 300 and 200, you will get 850 as answer. And if you would have done that, then clap for yourself, right? Now coming to the second question. Second question is a very easy one. You can just navigate it in a second or so. On dash, on which day the maximum number of food packets were distributed. If you see, this has 7 packets, this has 6 packets. Wednesday has 5, Thursday they distributed 4 into 50, I mean. On Friday it shows 8, right? So 8 into 50 is what they have sold. Obviously, because they are showing more number of packets on a Friday, it is going to be Friday. So answer is your D, that is Friday. So if you add 58 times, it is coming out to be 400, and 400 is obviously bigger than 350. So hopefully, these are very simple questions. This involves simple addition and nothing more than that, and you will be able to solve 2 questions in no time. Hopefully you have got both of them correct. If you have got both of them correct, give yourself a clap, give yourself 1 star, and we will now move to the second question. Okay, so second type of question is measurement, that is length, weight, volume and temperature, something that you would have already studied in class 1. So you are already aware of it. Now in this particular video, we are only going to tackle with length, weight, volume and temperature. We will solve in upcoming videos. Okay, let's go straight into the question. And here you can see the question says, arrange the given toothbrushes from smallest to largest and select the correct option, right? And the option you are seeing PQR, PRQ, QRP and RQP. You can see the image. There are 3 toothbrushes shown, P, Q and R. You need to find these lengths, the length of the toothbrushes, and then you need to arrange it in a way that smallest toothbrush is at the first and the largest is at the end. So let's do that. Take 5 seconds. Please solve it for yourself, and then we will get on to the solution. So I hope you have already solved the question. Let's go and find out the answer. So for P, if you see, so the units or the length of the toothbrush P is nothing but 8 minus 1, right? So you can see the end is at 8, and another end is at 1. It is largest minus smallest number. If you just minus it, you find out that P is 7 units long. That's the length, right? Now if you look at Q is nothing but 8 minus 2, right? So if you see, it's pointing at 2. So Q is 8 minus 2, that is 6 units. Now coming to R, if you see, the one end of R is at 5, the other one is at 0. So it is nothing but 5 minus 0, that is equals to 5 units. So which toothbrush is the smallest? The smallest toothbrush is R. Then it is Q, and then it is P. So this is going to be your answer. If you arrange it from smallest to largest, smallest is R, largest is P. So if you look at the options, it is option number 4, that is RQP. So these are again very simple, doesn't take a lot of time, and you can find out pretty easily what the solution is. And this is only for length. There are measurements for weight, there are temperature, volume, so something that we are going to discuss in upcoming videos. I hope you have solved this question correctly. If you have already solved the question, there are claps for you, clap for yourself, and give yourself another star, right? Let's go to the next question. Now the third type of question is time, that is looking at a clock and saying what time it is. Now this is where many kids actually go wrong. Learning to read an analog clock is very important, and many kids don't actually understand or are able to read these clocks, and that is why they go wrong here. So it is very important to have an understanding. So sit with your parents and then again and again just look at the clock and tell what time it is. After 1 hour, what time it will be. After 3 hours, what time it will be. Or 3 hours before, what time it was. So all of these, you should sit with a parent and discuss with them. So that is how you will be able to practice these kind of questions. Now this question is pretty simple. So the question says, which of the following clock shows the time 2 hours before 2:30? So say for example, now is 2:30 p.m. whatever, p.m. or a.m. What would have been the time 2 hours before, right? So 2 hours before, what should have been the time? So again, take 5 seconds. I'll pause the video for 5 seconds, but for you, I would want to pause the video, solve it, and then we will get on to the solution. Okay, so 2 hours before 2:30, right? So if now is 2:30 a.m. or 2:30 p.m. whatever it is, 1 hour before 2:30 would have been 1:30, right? So if you look at the hour clock, if it would have been 2:30 now. So for example, this is the hour clock. If would have been 2:30 now, this is 2, this is 6, and these are 1 and 12. 1 hour before 2:30, that is the hour clock going 1 hour back. 1 hour back would make it 1:30 p.m. And again, if you take from 1:30 to again 1 hour back, the hour clock would be something like this, pointing towards 12. So that would be nothing but 12:30, right? So 2 hours before 2:30 is nothing but 12:30. So now you have to look at the clock and see which clock shows 12:30, and it is going to be option C. Option C, where you can find that the our hand is between 12 and 1, then it is 12:30 p.m. So I hope you have already answered this question correctly. This was a very easy question. If you have already answered this correctly, do give yourself a clap and also give yourself a star mark. If you couldn't, then I'm sure you would have learned something new, and when you get these kind of question in an examination, you will be able to solve it. So if you have learned something new and understood it, then also please clap for yourself. Okay, so the next question type is numbers. Now it's another area where I see a lot of kids going wrong, only because it's not very natural for you guys or for kids to actually grasp what numbers are or how this can be solved. So you need intense practice. You need to be very easy going with numbers, playing with numbers and all. So you have to do a lot of practice to get these kind of questions correctly. So let's go to the question. Now what it's asking is, you have to identify the 3-digit number. There are 3 different sentences given, and then you have to just find out what the 3-digit number is going to be. The first sentence says the digit at one place is the smallest 1-digit number. The second pointer says the digit at 10th place is more than the digit at 1's place but less than the digit at the 100th place. So this is obviously 100th place, this is 10th place, this is 1's place. This is nothing but the smallest 1-digit odd number. This is something we'll have to find out what it is. But this number, the number at the 10th place, it is more than the number at the 1's place but less than the number at the 100th place. So what that number is, we'll find out. The third sentence, it says there are 7 hundreds in the number. So the number here has 7 hundreds. So overall there are 7 hundreds in the number. So now again I'll ask you to pause the video, take some time and find the solution to it, and then go forward in the video. I hope you would have found the solution to this question. Again, pretty easy question, but you'll have to have good amount of practice before you can really get onto this kind of a question and solve it at a very fast pace, because time again is of crunch when you are giving an Olympiad examination. So the first sentence says the digit at 1's place is the smallest 1-digit odd number. What is the smallest 1-digit odd number? The smallest 1-digit odd number is nothing but 1, right? So pretty directly, the first sentence says that the number, this is the number at 1's place, the number is 1. So now we have 1's place, we know what the number is. Now, as I've already discussed, at the 10th place, the number that is there in the 10th place is actually greater than the number that is there in the ones place, but lesser than the number that is there in the hundreds place. So we will come to it. We'll first find out read the third sentence and then try to make inference out of it. Now the third sentence is there are 700s in the number. So if there is 700 in the number, so this directly says that the first number is 7, right? So if you know how the number actually breaks. So for example, say I'm taking a random number, say 720, so I'm taking 723. Now if you break this number, this is nothing but 700 plus 20 plus 3, right? Now what it's saying is there are 700s in the number. This means that the number at the hundreds place is nothing but 7. So now we know what the number in the hundreds place is. We know what the number in the ones place is. Now we know that the number that is there in the 10th place is less than 7 but more than 1. That's what the second sentence told us. So it can be what? It can be 2, 3, either of 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6, right? So it can be either of these numbers. So we know in the 100 place it's 7, it's 1. Now what we'll have to see is we'll have to go to the option and see what is the correct answer. The first option cannot be the answer because the number at the hundreds place should be 7. So this is wrong. Number B says 7 is the hundreds place. That is correct. Ones place we have 1. That is correct. But in the 10th place, what number we should have? We should have a number that is less than 7. But is 8 less than 7? No. So B cannot be the answer. Now again, let's go to option D first. Now option D, hundreds place 7 is correct. But ones place we already know that the number should be 1. So it is not 1. So this cannot be an option. So C is the answer. That is 751. So this is how you are going to find out how these kind of questions. But this kind of questions really take some time, take some practice, and only then you will be able to solve very instantly, or else it will consume a lot of your time. So do practice a lot for these questions, right? So again, if you would have answered it correctly, give yourself a clap, give yourself a star, and at the same time, if you have not done it correctly, if you could not find the answer, not to worry. Now you have learned something new. I'm sure you will go back and practice a lot, and next time when I ask this kind of a question, I'm sure you will be able to answer, and then clap for yourself, give yourself a star, right? Great. So now let's go to the next question type. The next question type is calendar, that is date and day, right? So this is another type of question. Again, pretty easy. Kids are pretty comfortable with this kind of question, so I'm sure you will be able to answer this. But let's go. Sometimes some questions are a little difficult, are a little twisted. So kids tend to go wrong. But yeah, the question that I have here now is pretty easy, right? The question says Sonal went for drawing classes on every Sunday of January. So on every Sunday of January 20XX, whatever the month is, every Sunday she has gone to drawing class. How many days did she go for drawing class in that month? Pretty easy, right? All the Sundays, if you count, it will be that. So again, I'll ask you to pause the video, find the solution, and then we go to the next slide. Great. So I hope you would have found the solution. This is the easiest question of all. You just need to count how many Sundays are there in this month. If you see, there are 4 Sundays in the month, right? So this is 6th of January, 13th January, 20th and 27th January. So there are 4 days when Sonal would go for a drawing class, and the answer is nothing but B4. So these are 5 different type of questions. Pretty easy, I guess. And there were 2 such chapters or 2 such question type where I would want you to practice a lot. That is, one is numbers. The second is the other clock question. So sometimes, kids go wrong there. So you need a lot of practice there. Other 3 would have been a cakewalk for you. I'm hoping that do give yourself the star. Do let me know in the comment box what star did you get. Did you get a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star or 1-star? Whatever it is, do let me know in the comment section. And if you want to buy previous year question papers, 18 previous year question papers and practice, do go to the description box, find the link and you can purchase my PDF book from there, right? So we'll meet in the next video. Do subscribe to the channel as well, kids. If you are have watched the video fully and you like the video, do push that like button. Do subscribe to the channel. We'll meet in the next one. Till then, thank you from your Panda teacher.